Hi, my name is Ellie and I'm a Leave No Trace Ireland trainer. Today I'm here to share some tips and information on how we can all get out and enjoy the amazing nature and heritage along our waterways while still protecting them. To do this, I'm going to talk about some of the Leave No Trace principles. These principles have been in use by many outdoor groups for over 25 years and can be used in so many different ways. Before heading out for the day, some simple planning can make a big difference, like checking the weather, knowing where you can park or access the water, and telling somebody where you're going. Water safety is paramount and good planning is essential. Be sure to take notice of signage and safety notices in your area. Check the water body you're going to, be it a river, canal or lake, is appropriate for your activity and can handle the numbers and skill level of you and whoever you're with. Some places along the Shannon Blueway that have amazing heritage and biodiversity include the floating boardwalk of Drumshanbo, the castle and abbey of Portumna, the walking trails around Lochderg, and the boating and fishing opportunities here in Athlone. Getting outside is a fantastic way to spend the day, and it's really important to make sure that we all get to enjoy it. In some locations, there might be multiple activities happening along one waterway, such as rowing, canoeing, kayaking, cycling, walking, running, the list goes on. Of course, from time to time, these things will impact each other, so it's important to be mindful of how your actions affect others. Respect the rights of others and observe local etiquette. Remember, canals contain deep water but are also quite narrow, making manoeuvring difficult. For safety reasons, always give way to motorised craft. Motorised boats create a wave known as a wash, which radiates outwards from the boat as it moves forward. If you're in such a boat, make sure to check behind you frequently to make sure that your wash isn't affecting other river users. Ireland's canals and waterways act as wildlife corridors. This means that they allow plants and animals to move between areas and act as a huge habitat for different insects, plants and animals. If you see a wild animal outside, use the rule of thumb. First, stretch out your arm and give the animal a thumbs up. Second, close one eye and try to cover the animal with your thumb. If you can cover it, then great, you're far enough away. If you can't quite cover it with your thumb, it means you're probably too close and should try and move back if possible. When you're out fishing, make sure you don't leave behind any fishing lines or bait, as these can harm wildlife and birds. Did you know that pike is one of the biggest fish that you can find in Irish waterways? These predatory fish can grow to over 10 kilos in weight. Towpaths are great to walk along and for our own use, but are also a great place for wild plants. These wild plants feed our bees and butterflies, as well as providing cover for small animals like shrews and frogs. Many of our canal paths, lake shores and riverbanks are fragile habitats and are sometimes also natural defences against floods. Stay on established tracks and use designated car parks to try and preserve these areas. If you're getting in the water, use existing boat ramps, mooring sites and launching sites to minimise the effects on the edges of waterways. 2020 marks 10 years since the reopening of the Royal Canal navigation. The Royal Canal and the Grand Canal both connect to the Shannon, and this means that boats can now travel around the country without ever leaving the water. Waterways are full of historical importance, and many still contain working locks and bridges. Along the Royal Canal, some of the bridges date back over 200 years, and there are buildings that can be traced all the way back to 1200 AD. Along with the old bridges, some superstitions have survived, such as the Bridge at Loch 13, which is apparently haunted, and in the past boatmen would refuse to moor there. Take only pictures, drawings and memories. Leave plants, fossils, artefacts and other items as you found them, both so that whoever comes along after you also has an amazing experience and so that the ecosystem stays intact. While dandelions might be common, they're really important for bumblebees as they provide nectar much earlier than other plants. To stop the spread of invasive species on our waterways, clean your boots or watercraft and trailers, preferably before you leave the place. This is really important, disposing of waste properly. It's always important to take everything you brought with you home. When planning your visit, think of how you can reduce the rubbish you're bringing with you before you even leave the house. Make sure to leave no crumbs behind. the stomachs of wildlife and animals, is not able to process our foods and can often be very bad for them. Leaving things like dog poo behind can contaminate the water and damage the ecosystem. Waterway users often enjoy multi-day trips or adventures. If you're considering having a campfire, check that fires are permitted wherever you're planning to stop. A portable stove is the best way to minimise our impact, as it's cleaner and more efficient. If no stove is available, make sure to learn the skills of setting a low-impact mound fire. This avoids scorching or scarring the ground, damaging the roots of trees and plants, and much, much more. Now is a great time for us all to get out and explore our local heritage and learn about our different ecosystems. Look up different heritage sites near you. And to learn more about protecting the outdoors, look up leavenortraceireland.org.